Europe's intelligence chiefs are warning that Putin's next move could come sooner than anyone expects. This happened after Turkey said they had broken the deal between Russia and Ukraine that would see Russia pull back some of its forces around Kiev and allow humanitarian aid to come in. But first, some very troubling new comments by the head of the Netherlands Military Intelligence Service. He says Russia is planning for a post-Ukraine war world, and that means there could be more trouble ahead for Europe and NATO even after Ukraine. This is what Rob de Vos, again the head of the Netherlands Military Intelligence Service, said yesterday. As soon as there's a piece of paper signed somewhere, whether that is in Istanbul or in Moscow or in Kiev, he says the Russians will go home for now. But in 2 or 3 years they will be back because they will not accept that there is a free and democratic Ukraine so close to their border. This means that if a deal is struck between Russia and Ukraine, it's only a temporary pause. Russia's aggressive plans are not over yet. We've been telling you here on the newscast for weeks now, even as the fighting rages, even as Russia bombards cities like Mariupol and other Ukrainian cities, that the Kremlin is thinking beyond Ukraine. Ukraine is a means to an end for Vladimir Putin and his regime. The ultimate goal here is to restore some of that former Soviet glory and create a buffer zone between Russia and NATO. He mentioned Moldova and Georgia, but he also pointed to the possibility of renewed hostilities against NATO. He didn't say that there would be a renewed push against NATO, but if you read between the lines, it's pretty clear that that's where things are heading. And let me quote him one more time. It is inconceivable to me that Putin would stop at Ukraine. My gut feeling is that he wants to go further. I think the Baltic states should be very worried. They have to assume that they will be next. So very strong stuff there from the Dutch intelligence chief, and a very sober assessment as well. This is a reminder for the West, especially for NATO, that we have a real problem here. And this problem won't be solved simply by arming Ukraine. We support the Ukrainian cause. We want to see Ukraine win and prevail. And arming them is one way to help them fight back against the Russian invaders. But let's not forget, Russia is still planning for a post-Ukraine war world. This means that right now as we speak, while these peace talks are going on, Russia is regrouping, rearming, and getting ready to make a renewed push against Europe and NATO. That is how dangerous the situation is. And let's remember, Russia's not going to pick a fight with NATO directly. They will find other ways to advance their interests, whether it's through Moldova, Georgia, or a renewed campaign against the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. They're looking for other avenues to advance their interests. One of those avenues, which we talked about last week, involves Iran and the possibility of Russia supplying Iran with advanced military technology, including fighter jets. Iran could use that technology to develop nuclear weapons. And that would shift the balance of power in the Middle East in Russia's favor. So they're thinking outside the box. They're operating on multiple fronts. And the Dutch intelligence chief is sounding the alarm bells. He says the West needs to get prepared. Don't fall for any temporary ceasefires or peace deals that Russia might strike. They're just buying time to regroup, rearm, and reconquer. It's a sober assessment, and we would do well to heed his words. We live in a dangerous time, no doubt. But as Christians, we also live in a hopeful time. God Almighty still sits on the throne. And we know that the book of Revelation says that the forces of evil may rage like a bear robbed of her cubs, but God will be with us as we stand against them. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Until tomorrow, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace.